only get hiccups if you gobble like that.
I'm not gobbling.
What time's Willie coming?
He ought to be here now.
Would you like some more coffee?
No thank you, dear.
I think you'd better. I want you to meet our new treasure.
I didn't know we had one.
She seems a nice girl, but rather grand.
Thank goodness the other one's gone. I couldn't stand her, and I can never remember her name. What was it?
Mithanwe.
Ah. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
What's your name?
Jasmine, sir.
We've arranged that she should be called Saunders.
Madam has explained your lapse of memory, sir.
Oh, yes. Well, I shan't want any more coffee, thank you, Saunders. Mithanwe.
You're quite right, sir. I was in the employ of the Duke of Sidrington for 3 years. His Grace never took coffee before a day on the course. He said it made his hand unsteady.
Really?
Yes, sir. And since we're on the subject of golf, allow me to congratulate you. I noticed your bag in the hall and was delighted to see a complete set of Bobby Jones steel shafters. I knew at once you were a connoisseur.
Oh, thank you very much, Mithanwe. Saunders.
May I ask, sir, what balls you use?
Well, just ordinary balls.
His Grace never used anything except Spalding's. Which course are you playing on?
Chichester.
Oh, dear. Surely you must know, sir, your irons are all you need at Chichester.
She seems all right, doesn't she?
Quite. Oh, I do wish Willie had learned to be punctual.
Shall I ring him up?
What for?
To bring him down.
It wouldn't do any good. He's most likely in the bath. He does all his thinking in the bath.
Then he should have been down quite some time ago.
Oh, don't be bitter, dear. What are you going to do?
Nothing in particular. I'd ballet practice, tidy up, dust a bit to set Saunders a good example. I'm lunching with Jane. We should probably go to a matinee.
There now, didn't I tell you your day would pan out normally?
Yes, but I did have a presentiment when I first woke up this morning.
There's nothing serious. You said so.
But of course not. You can't define a presentiment. It really felt quite odd. As though something damnable were about to happen.
You go on thinking in that vein, something damnable will happen.
Being very important and taciturn this morning.
Yeah, but I don't like to see you worrying yourself over nothing.
I'm not really. I'm very happy.
Are you, honestly?
Yes, of course.
Good. I think it's awfully silly of people to lead unhappy lives, don't you?
I suppose so. We shall both know the moment that we go off one another.
We've been married 5 years.
5 divine years.
Yes, wonderful.
We're not a bit in love now, you know.
I don't know anything of the sort.
That's true.
Well, the first violent passion is naturally over.
But one can't really be in love without passion. That's why I said we weren't anymore.
Don't be annoying, Julia. You know perfectly well that we've reached a remarkably sublime plane of affection and good comradeship far above...
Just ordinary being in love, I quite agree.
We are in love, in a different way.
But there is no different way. It's the same for everybody. I've discussed it with Jane.
Oh, I think that's dreadful.
Nonsense. You discuss everything with Willie.
Yes, but differently, eh?
Less accurately, I expect. Well, never mind. You go off and play golf and quarrel with Willie, and I shall stay at home and quarrel with Jane, and we'll all be awfully happy. There is Willie.
I'll let him in, save Jasmine the trouble.
Saunders, will you be coming home tomorrow?
Perhaps tonight if the weather's bad.
Well, you might telephone and let me know.
Yeah, right.
Good morning, Julia. How are you?
Fred and I have just been having a psychological romp. It was very
It
stimulating.
depressed me for the day.
Jane's been a trifle difficult this morning. She woke up with a presentiment.
Good Lord.
She went on about it all through breakfast.
Ah, very tactless of her. I did at least wait until we'd finished.
Oh, have you had one too?
Yes, a beast. Don't ask me to explain it. It's all quite intangible just at present.
Well, let's go and leave them to their dreary forebodings.
The car's downstairs.
How very thoughtful of you not to bring it up.
Oh, got it up.
Yes, I'm only taking my irons.
Why?
Never mind.
Goodbye, Julia. Don't encourage Jane too much. There's a good girl.
Goodbye, darling.
Goodbye, love. Don't forget to telephone. Does it feel awfully strange to be in a new place, Saunders?
No, madam, not particularly.
I'm so glad. If a rather strange-looking man calls during the morning, will you take him straight up to the bathroom?
Yes, madam. Shall I run a bath for him?
No, you'll be the plumber.
B flat.
What?
Excuse me, madam. You played B natural. It should be B flat. I was brought up in a convent, madam.
You're quite right, Saunders. It was B flat.
I have an infallible ear. For 4 years, I was with Madame Carmen Granado, the celebrated concert pianist. She had a Bechstein grand. Your little instrument will make a nice change. May I, madam?
That will do, Saunders. Saunders was just practicing. Why on earth are you all dressed up like that?
Oh, we must both go away at once.
All right. Where shall we go?
Read that.
It's the Blue Grotto at Capri. Oh, my God! When's he coming?
Oh, now, I suppose today, any moment.
Oh, Jane, I wonder if he's changed.
I packed just a few things. I thought perhaps Brighton for a few days until our passports were properly visaed.
Passport?
For America.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. Now, sit down. I'll get you a drink of water.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm all worked up. It was the most frightful shock.
Oh.
And the funny thing is that I had a presentiment when I first woke up this morning.
So did I.
Did you?
Now, we must talk this over quite calmly. Have a cigarette. Oh. Now then, we've got the whole day before us.
Oh, I only hope we have.
You don't think he'll arrive before lunch?
Well, he might. He never had the slightest restraint. Oh, after 5 years, I do think it's cruel.
Well, at least we can face it together.
But it'll be agony facing him together.
We must be firm.
I suppose he's just as attractive and glamorous as ever. We shall both go down like ninepins.
I shan't. I'm much too fond of Fred.
Oh, I've been telling myself all morning that I'm too fond of Willie, but I don't know. I'm afraid. You see, Julia, we're not really in love with our husbands anymore. We're awfully happy and...
Exactly what I told Fred this morning.
Julia, I do wish we hadn't when we did.
It's a fat lot of good wishing that now.
Hey, you. Give me back the Blue Grotto.
It's typical of him to send that. Typical.
Maurice. Maurice. It gives me the most fearful sort of illegitimate thrill just to look at his name. I wonder if he realizes he's been the one grand passion in both our lives.
Of course he does. It's almost his profession. I wonder if he can speak English now.
No, I hope not. He was so lovely in French.
Oh, and I remember Italy. The cypresses and the moonlight. And the glorious romance of it all.
Oh, don't, dear. You'll only upset yourself.
Do you remember how I wrote to you from Scotland and told you all about it? We used to go out and look at the Leaning Tower, night after night.
Yes, and I was so worried because I guessed.
And then that lovely song that he used to sing. Sometimes on the terribly cracked piano of the hotel. Or sometimes just walking down the street. Je t'aime.
Oh, Julia, don't, because he used to sing that song to me after.
Même à l'heure de temps aller, la volupté troublante brise mes lèvres
brûlantes. Je t'aime. The post, madam.
Oh, don't tell me I know. It's the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Of course.
Oh, what a devil!
J'arriverai à Londres cette semaine. J'espère avec tout mon cœur que vous ne m'oubliez pas. Maurice. Cette semaine?
Today's Saturday. What are we going to do?
Jane, we must summon up all our courage. We must lay the whole situation out, like patience, and then we shall know where we are. Now then.
Now then what?
2 wretchedly happy married women.
Yes.
Both during the first 2 years of their married lives, having treated their exceedingly nice husbands to the requisite amount of passion and adoration.
Yes, yes.
After a certain time, the first ecstasies subside, leaving in some instances an arid waste of discontent, rank boredom, and rampant adultery on both sides.
It's gross.
But in other rare instances, such as ours, complete happiness and tranquility, unmixed with violent emotion of any kind, except for the possible exception of golf. Quite. And there lies the trouble. The absence of violent emotions, fireworks, etc.
But I don't want fireworks.
Neither do I, at least not the nice part of me. But there's a beastly, unworthy thing in both of us waiting to spring. It sprang before our marriages and it's waiting to spring again.
Julia!
In short, my dear, we are both ripe for a lapse.
No, it's a relapse.
Shh! Saunders will hear you.
Juliet, we must go at once, anywhere out of London.
I shall do no such thing. It would be most cowardly.
A blind goat could see through that, dear.
I shall stay and face it.
Well, if you do, I shall.
Well, there's not the least necessity for us both to suffer.
If you imagine that I should enjoy being by myself in Brighton while you were gallivanting about London with Maurice...
I should be much too upset to gallivant.
No, dear, it won't do. We stand or fall together.
I don't mind standing together, but I will not fall together. It would be most embarrassing.
Anyway, I'm not going to be left out of anything.
Very well, then. I'll go away and you can stay.
Yes. Yes, that's all right.
But what about standing or falling together?
Well, you see, I'm willing to sacrifice myself for you.
Liar!
If you're going to be cross, I shall go.
I'm not in the least bit cross. I'm simply seeing through you, that's all.
Who was it who wouldn't leave London today because it would be cowardly? Ha!
Are you insinuating, dear, that I want to stay?
Oh, I'm not insinuating, dear. I'm dead certain of it. You're simply longing for him.
Jane!
You are. You know you are.
Well, so are you.
Certainly I am.
Oh, Jane. We must be very careful.
I'm always careful.
No, I don't mean about him. I mean about us. We've been great friends since we were 8 or 9. Jane, I can't go through with it. Let's do your plan and fly together.
But he'll think it's so rude.
Don't weaken Jane.
Frenchmen are so particular about that sort of thing.
It can't be helped. One can carry good manners too far.
I know. We can leave him a letter.
Saying we've been called away. You write it while I pack a small suitcase. Saunders! Saunders!
Shall I start, mon cher Maurice?
Notre cher. It's less compromising.
Yes, madam.
Pack me a small suitcase. I've been called away.
Notre cher Maurice, nous sommes désolés que ce n'est pas possible pour nous de vous voir cette fois.
Not cette fois. It sounds so sly.
What shall I put?
While we are in London, no, Saunders, I shan't need those sort of things at all.
What while?
I haven't the faintest idea.
Pardon, madam.
Oh, you speak French. Well, then how would you say we are very happily married?
Nous sommes mariés maintenant très heureusement.
Thank you.
Do you feel this is quite the moment for us to announce that we are happily married?
Now or never.
Well, put, isn't it fun afterwards?
I don't know how to...
Saunders will.
C'est amusant, n'est-ce pas?
C'est amusant, n'est-ce pas? Yes, but it isn't particularly.
Tidy up, Saunders. Finish it off gracefully, dear.
On espère vous voir bientôt. We must, but that is mere politeness.
And then we must both sign on. Oh, my God. Do you think perhaps we ought to warn Fred and Willie?
We haven't got time to leave any more notes for the telephone.
Oh, there. Where from?
Aberdeen! Oh, come on! I'm ready.
Saunders, we're leaving a note for a foreign gentleman when he calls.
Very good, madam.
I'm glad. I'm tremendously glad. We're doing the right thing. Don't you feel marvellous?
No, awful.
Oh, well, never mind. Our better selves have won in spite of everything.
Yeah.
Oh. Martinis, please, Saunders. Strong ones. Very strong ones. And if one isn't enough, we shall have two.
If you'll allow me to say so, madam, several drinks never did any harm. It's only the first which is dangerous. After that, the damage is done.
Obviously, Saunders, you speak from experience.
I used to be a barmaid, madam.
Thank you, Saunders.
I'm extremely hungry, Julia.
So am I. Ravenous.
It's getting on for 9. There's not the least likelihood of him arriving now.
He might.
Anyway, the idea was for him to arrive unexpectedly and discover us dining together in charming domestic surroundings. Not sitting twiddling our thumbs, with eager, strained expressions, and the room decorated like a bridal suite.
That remark, dear, was not in the best of taste. Ah, what have you got there, Saunders?
Salted almonds,
Oh,
madam.
good. Will you have an almond?
It may assuage the pangs a bit.
I'm sorry I haven't got a pebble for you to suck to take away your hunger. What are you smiling at, Saunders?
If you'll allow me to say so, madam, pebbles are not sucked to take away hunger, but thirst, by nomads in the desert, madam. When I was in Cairo...
Thank you, Saunders.
Very good, madam.
It's been the most shattering day.
I shall never forget your face when the plumber arrived this morning.
And why do you suppose Violet Coswick chose today of all days to come to tea?
And what was the meaning of that hat?
It appeared to be held on by suction. Let's have another martini.
When Maurice does arrive, we shall giggle helplessly at him. Our heads will wobble. He'll kiss our hands and look up at us while he does it. Remember?
I remember, all right.
And then he'll smile and show all his teeth.
Many more than our usual.
Oh, you know what we're doing, don't you? We're working ourselves up.
We have been all day.
Oh, I should like to scream and scream and scream and roll around on the floor. It's like a food.
That's what it is. We won't wait any longer. Dinner, please, Saunders.
Quickly.
Yes, madam. Shall I open the champagne?
Oh, no. Yes, yes, open it. Champagne is a great strengthener.
Very great, madam. The patients where I used to work...
Don't tell me I know you worked in a hospital.
However did you guess, madam?
I think perhaps it's something to do with the way you walk.
Very good, madam.
If she goes on, I shall throw her out of the window.
There's a taxi. It's stopping outside. Oh, it's too dark. I can't see.
He's got a black hat.
It must be. It must be.
Oh, no, it's that beastly woman from upstairs. How dare she drive about in taxis?
Dinner is served, madam.
Oh, it was lovely of you to think of oysters, dear.
They do give one a grand feeling. It was terribly important for us to feel grand tonight.
Wouldn't it be awful if Fred and Willie came home? Drunk.
What did you say?
I said, wouldn't it be awful if Fred and Willie came home drunk?
Why should they? Of course, simply frightful. I'd forgotten it was Saturday.
Saturday?
Naturally depressing with the fog.
Oh, yes, of course. But only if you pay your subscription in advance.
Are you sure you left a message at your flat in case he went there first?
Oh, absolutely.
We'll get the most frightful shock when we do see him. He's bound to have got fat or something.
Oh, no. No, he wouldn't have come at all if he had. He's much too conceited.
No, not conceited. A little vain, perhaps.
With those eyes, who can blame him?
And those hands. And those teeth. And those legs. Oh, Jane.
Oh, Julia.
Have some more champagne.
No,
Oh, come on, do.
Well, take it up.
I'm beginning to feel much better now. Aren't you?
Yes. Oh, I adore this little sausage with my egg.
Too sweet, isn't it?
It's all been such a wonderful adventure.
It hasn't even started yet.
We mustn't lose our heads.
Perhaps he won't want us to this time.
Oh. My God!
Oh, my God!
I'll go!
It's my house! Yes. Park 1296. It is speaking? It is. Is that you, Maurice?
Oh, it can't be.
Oh, Uncle Hugo.
Oh, damn!
He's playing golf with Willie. Shut up! No, not you, Uncle Hugo. Yes, I will. I'll tell him. Yes. Goodbye. Oh.
Stupid old fool.
I hate all Fred's relations.
He's probably gone straight to a hotel. He'll have a lovely hot bath, change his clothes and come on hereafter. He always had a hot bath after a journey.
I hadn't forgotten, dear.
And he'll wear a soft silk shirt with his dinner jacket, so beautifully careless.
Don't, Jane. You're making me feel dreadful.
I can see him now, threading his way between the tables at Florian's on the Piazza San Marco. We used to have coffee there. And then drift over the lagoon, while darling little gondoliers poured out their sentimental souls in the most shattering tenor voices. Buildings rising up like ghosts in the mist. And then Maurice would take me in his arms and the world seemed to go.
Have some more champagne.
All right.
Pull yourself together, Jane. Saunders, open the door. Leave the potatoes.
Eat
Don't let it in like that!
madam.
Go on. Eat a little soft bread. Saunders told you to. She always knows best.
Right. I'm better.
It's a foreign gentleman, madam.
Why didn't you show him in?
What's he like?
Quite respectable, madam, but with a moustache.
Jane, let's speak. Why didn't you get rid of him, Saunders?
You said you were expecting a foreign gentleman, madam, so I thought I'd better keep him in case. He's looking for a Madame Gambaletti. I'll do it now.
Downright cruel, that's what it is.
More champagne?
No, thank you.
Well, don't shout.
I shall shout if I like.
Let's have a
It must
toast.
be dictatorial. All right, toast.
Maurice Duclos. No, heels.
That was silly of us.
Eat some steak quickly.
Julia, wouldn't it be awful if a tree blew down and killed Fred and Willie on the golf links?
Jane, how can you?
Even if they were killed, we would have to bear it.
We wouldn't break down. We'd face the world with a smile.
Well, not quite a smile, perhaps. We might be misunderstood.
I can see Fred now, being carried in on a stretcher.
Oh, there's Willie on another stretcher.
Jane. No.
Oh. Lovely. Taylor.
No, you do that with sherry stones.
Man, I like doing it with these.
Have some more champagne.
No, thank you.
Here you are.
Thanks, darling.
You know, silly parties. I'm beginning to feel terribly sleepy.
No, I'm not. I'm just cozy.
No, I feel terribly, terribly sleepy. Bring in the coffee, Saunders.
Laughing at.
No, sorry, but you know what's frightfully funny?
What's with me?
I don't know. You just do as our heads, I think, are too big.
It's because we've had too much champagne.
Much too much.
Wouldn't it be awful if the king came in?
Saunders would announce him impeccably.
Oh, I'm beginning to feel warm and comfortable.
A child could play with me.
I don't care what happens now. I'm past everything.
Will you have some coffee?
Thank you.
Liqueur?
Don't be ridiculous.
Benedictines, please, Saunders.
In tumblers.
They round off the meal so nicely.
Pardon?
Will you have some fruit?
Oh, I couldn't.
Oh, do. It rounds off the meal so nicely.
Oh, for heaven's sake, stop rounding off the meal. It's getting on my nerves.
Don't be so temperamental, Jane.
Do you think it would matter if I took off my shoes?
Not the least. They always do in Japan, I believe. Quite an old custom.
If Maurice had any instincts, he would arrive now, looking marvellous.
And make those lovely sort of baffle scene.
What would baffle him?
Well, us, of course, because we'd be so gloriously aloof and stately.
Oh, I shouldn't be aloof. I should give in without a murmur.
Then he'd want me more.
Well, if you think that's the way to make him, you better encourage me.
You don't need encouraging.
What do you mean by that?
What I say? How dare you? How dare I what?
Insult me.
I didn't insult you.
Then you meant what I said?
Meant what?
For heaven's sake, how can anybody have a conversation with you when you stand there saying what all the time? If you can't say what I grasp, you better go to bed.
That was exceedingly rude of you, Jane.
I'm sorry, Julie, but you're annoying me.
Unfortunately, it happens to be my flat.
Never mind. You'll get used to it in time.
Stop bickering, Jane.
Well, how can I stop bickering? You stand there insulting me.
I didn't insult you.
You did. You insinuated I was brazen.
Well, so you are sometimes. We all are. It's human nature.
Nothing of the sort.
I do wish you'd stop contradicting me, Jane.
Where are my shoes?
I really don't know. They can't have gone very far.
Oh, I should like to shake you, and shake you until your eyes drop out. You make me feel like a French Revolution virago. I'd like to rush up and down Bond Street with one of your tiny heads on a pole.
I think you better pull yourself together, and I shall get Saunders to show you.
Oh, if she comes near me, I shall throttle her.
I've never seen you violent before. It's very interesting psychologically.
I could bring you down to earth in 1 minute if I wanted to.
What vulgarity.
This is not vulgarity. Julia, I've kept something from you.
I wish you'd go home, Jane.
It concerns Maurice.
Oh, it concerns Maurice.
Yes, I thought that would rouse you. I know where he is.
Shall I?
No, it's true. He telephoned me while I was dressing for dinner tonight. I didn't want to tell you
Jane!
before because I didn't want to hurt your feelings. But now that I know you haven't any feelings to hurt, only a sort of shallow, sort of...
Where is he then?
fancy.
Tell me.
I shall do no such thing. I don't want you rushing around there and making a fool of yourself.
How dare you? How dare you? I shall never speak to you again. Utterly, completely contemptible. If what you say is true, you're nothing but a snivelling hypocrite. If it's false, you're a pale-faced liar. There's nothing to choose between you. Please go at once.
Go, certainly. I shall. Julia, you must curb your social sense if it's going
Go.
to lead you to drunken
Go.
orgies and abuse.
Go.
Certainly I shall go, and it may interest you to know that I'm going straight to Maurice.
Liar.
And I shall go there at once, and you, and Fred, and Willie, and the whole lot of you can go to hell.
When I say a soft boiled egg, Saunders. I do not mean an unboiled egg.
Very good, madam.
There is a hair in the milk, Saunders.
Perhaps it came from the milkman, madam.
The milkman is bald.
Morning, Julia.
Willie, what are you doing here? Where's Fred?
I left him at the Grand Hotel, Chichester.
Where's Jane?
Don't you know?
I haven't the faintest idea. She could be anywhere by now.
What do you mean by now? What's happened?
Everything probably by now.
What are you talking about?
Do stop cross-questioning me. Anyone would think I'd put her in a box or something.
From the furtive way you're behaving, I shouldn't be in the least surprised.
What about you, leaving Fred alone at the Grand Hotel, Chichester?
We had a row last night. Fred infuriated me.
I'm sorry to hear it. I shall speak to him severely.
Thank you. I couldn't bear to meet him at breakfast, so I crept out and left by the early train.
But what did you row about?
Nothing.
That's always the worst kind.
Have you quarrelled with Jane?
Bitterly.
What about?
Nothing.
Oh.
We got drunk.
What?
Extremely drunk.
If I can't go away for a quiet game of golf without you making Jane drunk...
I didn't make her. It was voluntary.
Where is she now?
Probably at home, sleeping it off in bed.
She isn't. I've just been there.
But I thought you came straight here.
I have a large bag and golf clubs.
Are you sure Jane isn't at home?
Perfectly. But I didn't worry because I was sure she'd be here with you.
It's true, then. She must have been steadily deceiving me all through dinner. How dare she? How dare she? Oh, oh, oh!
Now, will you stop still and explain what's happened?
Oh, I'll explain, all right. Oh, the sly, underhand...
You're referring to my wife.
Your wife? Ah, Artemis.
Julia.
My poor Willie.
You're maddening me, Julia.
To think that she could behave like that after all this time. Oh, it's utterly, completely contemptible.
What's happened to Jane? Where's she gone?
I should like to break it to you gently, Willie. She's gone off with a man.
What?
A Frenchman.
Nonsense, she can't have. You're unhinged.
I'm perfectly hinged.
She was...
Don't be so pig-headed, Willie. This is one of the few great moments of your life, and you're behaving like a ninny. Oh.
Look, if you think stamping about the room and blackguarding Jane is a big moment in my life, you're very much mistaken.
But it's true. She was in love with him before she ever met you.
Don't be ridiculous.
Your smug complacency is beyond belief. I suppose you think that no woman would ever dare believe you.
Jane couldn't. She'd hate it.
Oh, you're in for a shattering awakening.
Now, look, Julia, why not calm down and explain things quietly?
Oh, Willie.
What's up now?
Oh, I'm such a beast. I'm such a traitoress.
No, you're not. You're just thoroughly hysterical. If Jane really had left me, I'd surely have some feeling about it, but I haven't.
That will come later.
Who is this man she's supposed to be with?
Maurice Duclos. We both knew him before we were married.
Did you know him well?
Extremely well.
Was Jane in love with him, then?
Yes, violently. We both were.
Did you...
Yes, Willie.
Where?
Pisa.
And did Jane...
Yes, Willie. Venice.
This is horrible. Incredible. Has she seen him since we were married?
No. Oh, well, at least... Oh, I don't know. She's such a liar.
When did you last see him?
7 years ago, on the railway station at Pisa. We were both going to Paris. I wanted a salami sandwich and he hated garlic. So we had a row. And I pushed him off the train just as it was starting.
You ought to be thoroughly ashamed of yourself.
I didn't push him very hard.
I don't mean about that. I mean the whole thing. You're devoid of all moral sense.
What about Jane?
She's different. She's weak. I bet you egged her on.
She didn't need any egging. It all happened ages ago and she didn't tell anyone.
She was probably too ashamed and repentant.
Repentant, my foot!
It's more than you are. You're positively glorying in your shame.
If I'd known what a smug little man you were, I'd never have let Jane marry you.
And if I'd known how utterly lacking you were in all the finer feelings, I'd never have let Fred come near you.
I should stop hurling abuse at me and go in search of your weak but strictly virtuous wife. If she hasn't succeeded in finding Maurice Duclos by now, she is probably roaming the streets in deep evening dress and hiccups. I am not going with you because I wish to help you. I am going with you because I wish to find Jane and tell her exactly what I think of her.
Park 1296? No, sir. Mrs. Sterrell has just gone out. One moment, sir. I'll write it down. Maurice Duclos, Park 2229. Bien, monsieur. Je n'y manquerai pas. Au revoir, monsieur.
Kitchen, Saunders.
Yes, sir.
Where's Mrs. Sterrell?
She's just gone out, sir.
Where's she gone?
I don't know, sir.
Ah, she's upstairs with Mrs. Banbury, I expect. Run up and tell her I've come back, will you?
Yes, sir. What number is it?
Number 5, 2 floors up.
Very good, sir.
Good heavens! Have you been out all night?
Yes.
Lucky for you, I left Willie in Chichester.
Oh, you did you? Why?
Oh, we had rather a row last night. If you'll forgive my saying so, your husband is a fool.
I have always found him extremely intelligent.
Where have you been?
Mind your own business.
Well, don't jump down my throat. It's quite a harmless question.
I object to your dictatorial tone.
Yes, but to come in like that at 11 o'clock in the morning is a little...
If I choose to come in naked on a tricycle, it is no affair of yours. Where's Julia?
I don't know. She went out before I arrived.
Out where?
I'm the fence stand here. I thought she was probably with you.
The mistress isn't at Mrs. Banbury, sir. Oh.
Don't look so startled, Saunders. You left the door open, so I walked in.
What time did Mrs. Sterrell go out?
Just before you came in, sir. With a gentleman.
Oh, what?
Who was it?
I don't know, sir. He didn't leave any name.
What was he like?
About medium height, madam, and dark.
Dark, was he?
Why, what's the matter?
I'm extremely sorry for you, Fred. Extremely sorry.
That will do, Saunders.
Very good, sir.
Now, what does this mean? What's all the mystery?
Oh, there is no mystery, I'm afraid. It is all perfectly clear.
Jane, tell me the truth.
I couldn't possibly. Julia may be double-faced, treacherous, and thoroughly immoral, but she was my friend.
Oh, I see. So you had a row last night, too?
Yes, we did.
What about?
I don't know. Julia spoke rather indistinctly.
Do you know where she's gone now?
Oh, I have a shrewd suspicion, but my lips... No.
Well, what's the matter now?
So she knew all the time.
Knew what?
How dare she? How dare she? Oh, it's contemptible to be deceived in such a sordid manner by one's best friend.
Yeah, what's this?
Oh, don't talk to me.
Yeah, what does this mean?
Oh, it means that Julia has deserted you. She's gone off with this Frenchman, Maurice Duclos. She's known him for years, long before you were married in Italy.
Jane, are you mad?
Oh, no, I'm perfectly sane.
You don't surely expect me to believe that Julia would leave me suddenly without rhyme or reason.
Anything. She hasn't a single scruple or pang of conscience anywhere. She'd lie, thief, forge, cheat, murder. She's a thorough and out bad lot.
Pull yourself together. You know perfectly well you like her better than anybody else in the world. She's probably feeling just as bad as you are at this very moment.
Oh, no, not her. She's far too busy.
Please control yourself.
Oh, I came back here even before I went home because I wanted to make out with her. I've had a beastly night all by myself in a hotel in Bayswater.
Oh, why on earth Bayswater?
Because the taxi man took me there. Oh, Fred, I'll tell you everything. It's awful. Julia and I were both drunk, and before we were married, we both had an affair with the same man. He's come to London, and Julia and I were terrified that we'd fall in love with him again. So we worked ourselves up and we waited, and then after dinner, Julia got grand and ordered me out of the house. So I pretended I was going straight to him, and I went to the Granville Hotel, Bayswater.
Was he there?
Oh, no, of course not. He's with Julia.
I don't believe a word of it.
Here's his name on the telephone pad, and Saunders saw them go out together.
And you say you both knew him before you were married?
Yes, Fred.
And you both,
Yes, Fred.
Well, don't just sit there and say yes, Fred.
Well, it's true, Fred.
You appall me, your dreadful matter-of-fact callousness. Yes, Fred, oh, my God.
Oh, don't be so melodramatic.
Melodramatic? It's horrible, awful. I suppose you feel proud of yourself having led Julia into this blackguard's clutches.
Led her? Ha! That's funny.
Yes, led her, deliberately. You've got a depraved mind.
And you are unsufferable and pompous.
I am going to find her, and you are coming with me.
Oh, no, thank you. I've had quite enough of Julia to last me the rest of my life.
Come on.
I can't go like this.
You'll have to.
You take your hands off me. Leave me alone. Help!
Jane!
Julia!
Where have you been?
So it was you who went out with Julia?
Good morning, Jane.
Julia, I've done something awful.
I'm not in the least surprised.
How did you get up here?
I caught the early train.
Julia, I haven't been where you thought at all. I've been all by myself in a hotel in Bayswater.
What?
I came back here to find you, and I found Fred. Saunders said she'd seen you go out with a man. I found this on the telephone pad.
Maurice, what are we going to do? Jane, I think it's only fair to tell you that I've told Willie everything.
Oh, I've told Fred a good deal, too.
Willie, what has Julia told you?
About Jane and some snivelling Frenchman in Venice.
Hypocrite?
And what did Jane tell you?
About Julia and some Frenchman in Pisa.
I shall never speak to you again.
It's not true. It's all a joke. We were all making it up.
She's lying. Julia, tell me the truth.
Certainly I will. It's all perfectly ridiculous. Jane and I have been faithful to you always.
Before marriage?
Well, we couldn't really be faithful to you before we met, could we?
Is this Frenchman's story true?
Jane, forgive me for everything. We've got to stand together now. They're both going to be perfectly beastly.
Willie, listen to me.
Fred, you must listen to me.
Monsieur Maurice Duclos.
Oh,
Julia, après 7 ans, quelle émotion. Jane! Oh, je suis enchanté. Ravi, ma chère Jane.
Willie, I'd like to present Monsieur Maurice Duclos, my husband.
Good morning. How do you do?
Maurice, this is my husband.
Oh, how do you do? I had no idea. I haven't seen Julia for so long.
When did you last see Jane?
I beg your pardon?
Shut up, Willie.
You speak wonderful English now.
Yes, 7 years. It seems like yesterday.
Do you think we've changed?
Oh, not at all. I have met your wife abroad years ago. So strange renewing old friendships.
Damn strange.
Willie.
I should like to have a little chat with you, Monsieur Duclos. There are several things I want explained.
I shall be charmed.
Look, I can't stand this any longer. You've arrived at a very opportune moment. We've just discovered...
Maurice, let me explain. You see, our husbands have only just this moment discovered that Jane and you and I were great friends in Italy 7 years ago. They're naturally rather upset. I must apologize for their surly behavior.
And it has succeeded beyond your wildest dreams, isn't it? Oh, it was cruel of you to ask me here this morning without warning me. It would serve you right if I gave you away.
You needn't trouble. They've already done that for themselves.
Please, let me tell them the truth. It places me in such an embarrassing position.
Yes, Maurice, please do tell them the truth.
I'm going mad.
Shh, quiet, Jane.
I'm afraid we already know the truth. There's nothing more to be said.
Do you love your wife, monsieur?
Mind your own business.
What do you mean? What are you getting at?
I have your permission to speak?
Yes.
Well, I'm afraid it has all been rather what you would call a put-up job.
Put-up job?
Yes, I have known Jane and Julia for quite a long while. We're great friends. They confide in me.
The hell they do.
Oh, monsieur, it would make it much easier if you were not so angry. I give you my word, there's nothing to worry about.
I'm glad you think so, but I'm afraid we have a rather different set of values in England.
Here.
Oh, an obvious remark, monsieur, but not very much to the point.
And what is the point?
Had not a suspicion ever crossed your minds that here in England, husbands take their wives a little too much for granted sometimes?
So they ought.
Well, it's very dull for the wives. In France, it's all arranged differently. There are so many diversions.
What are you trying to say?
Well, perhaps Jane and Julia require a little more attention than you're prepared to give.
Rubbish.
It's not rubbish, is it, Julia?
Certainly not.
You've been married for how long, monsieur? 5 years, is it not?
What I want to know is whether this revolting story is true. Is it or isn't it?
Of course it isn't. Jane, Julia, and myself, we made a plan.
Damn impertinence.
Well, you see, 5 years brings one to a rather critical matrimonial period as a rule. Everything seems slightly gauche. The first romance is over. Our plan was to rouse you up to a sense of your responsibilities.
How extremely kind of you.
Oh, don't go on being cross anymore, Fred. It's all such ridiculous nonsense.
I don't understand this at all.
Well, you see, we've all muddled it all so much. Well, rather you've muddled it by appearing suddenly, just like that, has taken all the wind out of our sails. You see, Jane was going to break it to Fred that I had run off with Maurice, and I was going to break it to Willie that she had run off with Maurice. But you spoiled it all by appearing before we were properly rehearsed. It's all such ridiculous nonsense. Please forgive us.
Look, how long have you been in England?
Oh, 3 weeks.
Was that what you were hinting at yesterday morning when you said that you had a presentiment that I didn't love you anymore?
No.
Yes! Don't you see? She was paving the way. That's what she was doing.
Jane.
I can't shush anymore. It's all so stupid. And you were right. It's cleared the air. They were much too sure of us. Much, much, much.
Maurice, would you like a drink? I'm afraid Fred's still too flurried to be hospitable.
Terribly sorry. It never struck me. Whiskey and soda?
No. I really only came in for a minute. I've taken the flat above for 1 year.
What?
And Julia and Jane promised to help me choose an attractive cretonne for my curtains.
Did we? Oh, yes, so we... Pull yourself together, Jane.
Perhaps you'd all come and sit. It's a bit untidy at present, but you won't mind.
I'm afraid I have to go and change.
Oh, they're standing for the Palins back at 12 o'clock.
Oh, we'll come now.
Now, look here, Julia.
Would you rather I didn't, Fred?
No, well, perhaps not. Look, I must apologize for being so boorish. It was all very puzzling.
Come on, Jane.
Oh, will you all lunch with me today? It's so dull being alone.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. We'll be delighted.
Look here, Fred.
Shut up, will you?
Thank you, Fred. You're a darling. Come along, Maurice. We won't be more than 10 minutes, Fred, choosing the patterns.
Don't be cross, Willie.
But I don't quite see why you're...
Oh, don't try to see any more.
Why are you in evening dress?
Well, you see, that was all part of the plan. You were supposed to come in and find me dead drunk in the downstairs hall. We were going to rehearse this morning.
You know, it's damn funny. It really is.
What?
The way we arrived and spoilt their little game.
Now, look here,
Have a
Fred.
drink?
No, thanks.
You never know what Jane and Julia will do next.
It's not what they'll do next. It's what they did last. Thanks.
I don't think that Frenchman's at all a bad chap.
I wouldn't trust him an inch.
Ah, the lies they told.
You seem to have completely wiped it from your mind, the whole thing.
Well, I never believed Julia when she told me that lurid story about Italy.
Still, it seems queer to me. I mean, even if their scheme had worked, what good would it have done them?
Made us jealous.
Don't be an abject fool, Fred. He was bluffing us. The whole damn thing's true from beginning to end, I'm sure of it.
Why?
Well, I've never seen Jane so upset and hysterical in my life. She must be upset about something.
Are you serious?
Yes, I am. And do realize we've let them both go up to his flat. Alone?
Brise mes lèvres brûlantes. Je t'aime.